right, welcome back to the Quivercast, and today we have no other than I'm pretty sure it's a bold claim, but I'm pretty sure the best surfer to ever come from Pennsylvania, Ben Gravy, right?
Maybe the best surfer to ever come out of Birch Runville, Pennsylvania.
Now, I'm sure that I'm claiming the whole state.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, right. I mean, who's better? Do you know anybody else that as
Um,
a world renowned as you from Pennsylvania?
Maybe not. My buddy Rob Kelly is a really good surfer. He's from Pennsylvania too.
Oh, is he? Okay,
Yeah.
Rob Kelly does
Yes.
rip.
Yeah, he's a really good surfer.
That dude shreds. Is he like? Did he live there as long as you did, like growing up wise,
Um,
or you don't
I,
know?
I think we both moved to New Jersey around the same time, but probably like right after eighth grade. We both we kind of came down here for high school kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he a committed surfer? I mean, I'm asking a lot about Rob, but
Rob actually's got good at surfing really late, late for 16 years old, but
right.
late
Yeah.
in life because he was the guy that he kind of came out of nowhere and he would always be getting knocked out, and then the next year he'd make the finals, and then the next year he was top three, and then the next year he's winning everything. So
Yeah. No,
he
that guy
just
rips.
yeah, he came out of nowhere. Pretty cool.
Okay. So you have this period in your life growing up. So you grew up in Pennsylvania, and
Yep.
you learned how to surf in the shore in Jersey Shore, right?
Yeah.
And all this is documented, so we'll just fly through it real quick. But um, was the stoke of surfing what got your parents to move to Jersey?
So, my mom grew up in a town called Margate in
Mm-hmm.
South Jersey, right near
Yeah.
Atlantic City. So, and my dad was he summered in Avalon, which is a little bit south of us.
Okay.
So, my parents met at Westchester University when my mom was going to school and fell in love and got married and had my older brother. And my dad had started a landscaping business in Pennsylvania. And my mom was like, all right, well, I guess I got to move to Pennsylvania like, after they got married. So, yeah, that's kind of how it happened. And then when my dad became successful enough to buy a house at the beach, he bought a house in a town called Longport, which is now multi-million dollar community. But he bought a house in 1999 for 100 grand in Longport.
Wow.
And we started, and then my grandma lives down here, my aunts, my uncles, everybody.
Yeah, the
So
family.
yeah, so we would come down on weekends and then summers, and then we eventually were just like, all right, we're moving
Okay.
because of surfing. Yeah,
Because of surfing,
yeah.
ultimately.
Ultimately, yeah, but there were so many family connections down here, so it just made sense.
Okay. Did you feel like an outsider, or did you feel like you belonged to the community when you moved there?
Um, a little bit of both, but I've I've kind of always felt like an outsider, to be honest with you. I but definitely it's kind of funny because I didn't fit in. I mean, of course I had friends both places, but I didn't
Hmm.
really fit in Pennsylvania because nobody surfed. Like the closest thing that they did was skateboard,
Yeah,
and it's similar, but it's not the same.
at
And
all.
then
Yeah.
yeah, in Jersey, then I'm the kid from PA, so I'm kind of an outsider, but
Right.
I had great friends growing up in Pennsylvania and great friends in New Jersey. But yeah, I've always kind of just done my own thing and stuck to my own program. So I I kind of just roll with that lifestyle.
Okay.
I embrace it.
Okay. Do you still feel like an outsider now?
Yeah, definitely. I
Why?
do I don't know. I, that maybe there's a lot of reasons, but yeah, I don't know. Because I don't know. I guess I'm just not really status quo with surfing or anything that I do. So, well, maybe one thing is I'll be like, "Hey guys, we got to go do this," and then everyone's like, "Nah, that doesn't sound fun at all." And I'm like, "What do you mean it doesn't sound fun?" They're like, "It's knee high, dude." And I'm like, "All right, fine. I'm just going myself."
Yeah,
So,
that makes
um,
sense.
just a little bit of that, but it's all good. Good fun.
Okay, so you said something about surfing and the status quo. So, I've interviewed a lot of surfers. How do you feel like the mainstream surf community, do they embrace you, or Do they blow you off? Like, what do you feel about that?
I think I'm kind of like getting through the barrier, or maybe I'm through it. But
Hmm.
in the beginning, I believe that people tried to write me off for sure. Because I mean, I'm well aware that my surfing skills, like my technical surfing skills, aren't like on a world class level, but somehow I got global recognition through what I was doing with the novelty waves and stuff. So a lot of people in the beginning, especially, tried to write me off and
Hmm.
kind of because my skills weren't like, Challenger Series or QS or CT level. But I've made a lot of really good friends, I think, because I never really saw myself as a surfer and I wasn't really trying to penetrate surfing. And I think people just saw that genuine aspect about me. And I think that's kind of what like Jamie O'Brien saw in me. He was just like, oh, this guy's not really competitive. He's not really trying to be the guy. He's not really trying to, I don't know, impress anybody.
Hmm.
So I think he liked that about me, and Jamie kind of took me under his wing. And also Kelly has been really good to me too. Like he I don't know, just he showed me respect early on when he definitely didn't have to. And
Yeah.
I think that made me feel a little bit of embrace, I guess. But I also am always just I think it's important in life, whether you're surfing or anything that you're doing, any job that you do or mission that you're on, to focus on yourself and not get too caught up in what else is going on in the world. And that's just kind of my mantra and how I live. So that makes things easier for me. But overall, I see a lot less articles on Surfer and Stab Magazine bashing me. In the beginning, it was quite a few, which is all right. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so. But first off, let's break that down a little bit. I think every Grom 10 years ago and back further, and even maybe even today, the Groms, they love you. You're like their idol. Like I remember my son watching you and being so stoked. I didn't know who you were. He showed me the video, and I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's doing something totally different.
That's
So you know what I'm saying?
thanks. Yeah.
Everywhere in the world, I think. I mean, I don't know how the rest of the world is, but at least in Southern California, where I'm at,
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah. If you watch the Grom contest, they all were trying to be like you. They'd be stoked to have met you, kind of thing.
That's cool.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to ask you for your perspective. Do you think the surf world, everyone thinks they're too cool? There's a lot of
Well, I don't know what that is, but I think it's part of the culture. And I think people,
100%.
I don't think people are thinking and realizing that they're acting like that. I think for me, it's really easy not to get wrapped up in that because I tried to be pro when I was younger, and
Hmm.
then I completely, I had to get a normal life, and I worked in video production, and then all this crazy stuff happened to me, and now I surf for a living. But I got such a good perspective because I got so humbled at a young age, and I think that doesn't happen to everybody. So I think they're not even really thinking that they're cool, but maybe they're just acting like they're thinking that like that. There is a little bit of an elitist vibe in surfing that it's whatever, but I think it's definitely interesting and kind of weird. It's a weird part of surfing. I don't really understand it.
Okay. Fair enough. You said you try to be pro and stuff. Did you try QSs, or are you talking about like NSSAs or ESAs
So,
or
well, I did ESA, NSSA, junior pros, and then I started doing the QS. But then when I was 19, my dad was like, "Hey, buddy, time to go to college."
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just agreed and went to college?
Yeah. I
Do you think
still
that
get
was best for you? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
no, absolutely. It definitely was.
Okay. Cool.
Because I had a totally different perspective, and I don't know. I didn't really. Maybe I didn't understand what I had at the time.
Hmm.
Um, because I had a few sponsors. But mostly, obviously, my dad was paying for me to do contests and go on a couple trips every year. But I guess I didn't realize how special that was. But then when I got into like real life, I was like, whoa, That was a dream. So
Hmm.
maybe subconsciously I've always worked to get back to that dream.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I was pretty stoked because I've been filming and editing. I used to edit on like two VCRs stacked on top of each other,
Mm.
and I used to plug a CD player into it and make like background music. And
Wow.
I used to film high eight, mini DV, VHS cameras. So that's always been surfing is definitely a passion of mine. But I would say that production and filmmaking and that is definitely equal
Okay.
in my heart. So when I had the opportunity to go to film school, I took it. I thought I was stoked for it.
Was getting into film school easy, hard?
Well, I went to a school that accepted everybody.
Okay.
It was a like a more of a trade school where
Yeah.
it wasn't about the academics really. It was about just learning the craft of video production.
Yeah.
So yeah, they accept everybody. So it was
So
pretty easy, but I did fail I failed the math test. So I
math
had to,
sucks.
yeah, so I had to take like a non-credited math. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Pretty classic.
Wow. Did you know, or did you have plans of, at that point, I'm talking about years ago in the video class, that you were going to go this route in life, or did it kind of happen organically?
No, absolutely not. I had no plans.
Okay.
I did always see. What's kind of funny is I've been uploading to YouTube since 2006, and
Yeah.
I used to surf when I was in high school. I surfed for Billabong and Globe Shoes, and I would send them YouTube edits, and they would
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like brush them off. They'd be like, what is this kid doing?"
Mm-hmm.
I always saw that side of it, and I don't think a lot of people saw it for a really long time. Now I think everyone's keen to it, but yeah, I used to try to like show my sponsors like, hey, look at this, like this video got 1,000
Smart.
views, um so I always saw it, but I never really anticipated that I could become successful at it because I thought that you had to be a world-class surfer to be successful at making surf content.
Okay. Fair enough. Do you think you, I mean, you were early on, as you said, on YouTube. Did you,
Dennis.
someone's in trouble.
Yeah.
Did you know that YouTube was going to blow up like it did, or did you have thoughts that it would?
Like my personal channel or just in
Just
general?
in general. No, just YouTube in general and your
No,
channel.
well, the surfing industry is really late to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
There was
Okay.
people vlogging for uh, you know, 8 years before I started vlogging.
Okay.
Um, so I've been on YouTube for so long that I knew what was possible on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when I started doing the vlog, I just started uploading every day because I was like, all right, well, if I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna give myself the best shot. But
Okay.
I was also self-medicating by making vlogs because I got sober the year that I started my vlog, so I was kind of like giving myself something to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Keeping out of trouble, kind
yeah,
of thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, good.
If you're
It's a
editing, you can't be out at the bar, dude.
It's 100% true. Do you enjoy editing?
I do. I do. I always say it's my first love because people hate editing so much, and I edit every day. I edit probably a minimum of 4 hours a day, and
Wow. Okay.
I actually love it. I love it.
What about being on the road and editing? Not having your own
Um,
room.
yeah, it's a little bit challenging, but I'm pretty good at sucking it up. There's definitely some times that I'm in my car and I have a hot laptop on my legs and I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking, what the hell am I doing right now? But it's not so bad. And you can always, in the beginning I was going every day, but now I can take a couple days off and not feel guilty. So,
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me group those two together then. Obviously, you switched when you got sober. You switched over to surfing was kind of your fix, and you're saying editing also
yeah.
was kind of what helped you keep you straight. Is surfing or even editing or it being doing something like you need to do something is that a good positive? And even though it's a positive thing, is that good for you?
Um,
Do you understand the question?
yeah, like I always have to be doing something.
Yeah.
Um, Well, I think it's part of my personality.
Okay.
And I think if I'm going to direct that somewhere, if I'm directing it in a positive direction, like
Okay.
I'm definitely addicted to work,
Mm.
100%. But
Okay.
I'd rather be addicted to work than addicted to alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't stop, and my wife gets mad at me, but I can't stop thinking about the next step, even if it's like, even if it's something that has nothing to do with my career. Like if I'm like building something at the house or whatever, like I'm always like, and I always have like a mental checklist going,
Hmm.
and it's part of my personality, and it's probably not healthy, but for right now we're managing. So we'll see.
Have you ever thought about doing something else on YouTube or something else that creative that no one else has done? Because you've kind of made this genre of surfing on YouTube. In my belief, I don't know. Maybe there are other people. I'm sure there was surfing out there also, but
um
you invented what you are, and
yeah,
everyone's followed. In my opinion.
I don't I don't really know if I think maybe this is like my big achievement in life.
Okay.
I don't really know. I
And
think
it's
I
a
think
huge achievement. Yeah.
Thank you. But I think if I was going to focus this much energy on anything else, I would focus it on like making money or something. Because this is like just not that I haven't made decent money doing what I do and I love it, but um this has been passion straight from the heart. Like I never thought that I was going to actually become successful at doing this, so I was just doing it because it's what I wanted to do. But I do think about that sometimes. I'm like, is this like, was doing the 50 states and having that big movie premiere, like, was that my moment? Or like maybe I have more to give. And then sometimes I wake up and I feel like, all right, I have more to give. Like I'm gonna continue changing the world and keeping people stoked. And then other days I'm like, maybe that was it for me. And either way, I think I guess you got to give yourself a little bit of grace in life and just be like, either way, it is what it is. Like, we're all kind of here just like living. And as long as I think as long as I'm making people feel good, then I'm on the right path. And it's not always a direct path. Like, I don't always know where I'm going. Um,
Oh, okay.
but for the most part, I have a pretty good, um, idea of the next couple of years of my life mapped out, but who knows? You know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah.
people will just stop watching YouTube videos. So who knows?
Do you see anything else in the future that's going to happen soon that you might jump on? Which I don't know what it is. I guess
As
no one.
far as like social
It's
media
content.
or
Yeah, it's
just
just content.
anything.
Yeah.
No, I think for me, um, I think I give people some type of inspiration through what I'm doing, and I think
Oh yeah.
as long as I keep chasing waves and kind of showing people how good life can be and showing people that it doesn't have to be 6 foot and perfect to enjoy it. And I think as long as I keep like every now and then I come up with a challenge that I really want to do and like I get fixated on it, but I think as long as I continue to just push forward and keep it positive and kind of keep just sharing what I'm doing, I hope that's the path I'm supposed to be on, but we'll see. Like who really knows?
Are you looking at the? Well, you said you're looking 2 years down the line, or you think you. How do you come up with these creative ideas of like the 50 states of surfing? Like how
Yeah, well,
is
sometimes
it? Go ahead.
they just pop into my head. And then
Like you're sleeping and you're dreaming and all, this is what it is.
I dream some stuff, yeah.
Oh wow.
Then it somewhat becomes compulsive behavior. Like I start analyzing it and then being like, oh, here's the steps that it'll take to accomplish this surfing 7 seas in 7 days. Like I think I can figure this out. And then it's like, oh, I figured that out. Oh, I can figure the next part out. And then it's also once again kind of just part of my personality, I think. And it's like, okay, how can we take something ridiculous and impossible and make it fun and kind of punish myself for other people's entertainment, but at the same time, like enjoy the hell out of it, you know?
Okay. What about the camera's always on you? It seems like, I'm sure when it's turned off, but it seems like you every day have the camera on you. Does that get rough?
Um, I film essentially every day. No, it doesn't. I don't really put pressure on myself to like perform.
Okay.
It just is what it is. Cause like I feel like if people watch enough of me, I think they know that like I'm not always, because I know I'm known as like the stoked guy, like
Yeah,
so
positive.
stoked. But I'm not always like overly stoked. Like sometimes I'm just like, hey, check it out, we're at the beach, like this is what the waves look like. You know, and it is what it is. But I definitely have learned about myself, um, that I do have an underlying positivity that I just carry with me. Like I do always look at the best part of a situation, but I think that has helped me so much just push through all the times when I'm like questioning what I'm doing. Cuz I'm just like, well, I'm doing what I want to be doing, or this is cool. I'm not really worried about how anyone else is perceiving this wave or this thing.
Yeah.
As long as I'm loving it and I'm cool with it, like I'm just gonna do it.
So
And
one thing I noticed about myself over the last few days, watching some of your videos, which I've watched, like I said, way back in the day when my son was young, is I literally saw myself smiling watching your videos. It's like contagious almost.
um,
It's trippy. I didn't realize.
I'm so happy to hear that, dude.
I mean, does that make sense? It doesn't even make sense to me. I didn't realize, but I
Well,
literally saw myself smiling.
that's amazing. Sorry, my wife's about to come in here, so my dog might get stoked, so I'm just walking in here. But
Okay, cool.
dude, that's really cool. Like, I'm actually like honored to hear that.
Oh,
I
cool.
Because I don't really think about how. Obviously, I try to keep my videos as light and fun, and I need like there needs to be like some point to the video. But
Okay.
I'm not thinking about like how are people going to perceive this. You know, I'm kind of just like I'm just kind of doing it, and and that's really cool. So I'm happy to hear that. Thanks,
Yeah,
dude.
I was. It was a trip to myself, even to be honest with you.
I think like maybe too. I do believe that you do pick up on the real energy of someone if you're watching
Hmm.
what they're. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if I'm bummed in a video, it will show through, and
Yeah.
if I'm genuinely stoked, like people will be genuinely stoked. That's an interesting part of this whole content thing that like I don't know if we've tapped into like understanding quite yet, but genuine stoke shows through the screen, I believe.
Well, they say like a lot. I mean, how do you say it? Like the real life shows, like the real life of Wives of New York. Or I've never even
Oh
watched that
yeah,
show,
yeah, yeah.
but
I've seen a
but
lot of it. My
okay, you're into it
my
then.
wife loves it. No, I'm
Okay,
not.
your wife loves it. Okay, but like the world loves it, I believe. What I
Yeah.
hear,
Hmm.
but there's still kind of a screenplay they're playing along with, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Are you doing like a screenplay or do you kind of just, you know, do
No,
you have it written out before that day before the record button's pushed?
no, but if I have like a big budget project,
Yeah, that's a little different.
I'll do like a five. Like I'll know the five things that I have to say or do throughout the day,
Oh, gotcha.
but I allow it to be very much what it is, and I that's like something that I'm pretty dedicated to, like just being like, okay, I can see an opportunity in a moment sometimes, but I definitely don't. I'm not scripting things out, but I am like, okay, this would be a good time to bring up the fact that we have to get from point A to point B and finish this. But other than
Hmm.
that, it's kind of all just happening as it happens.
Do you put yourself in a time slot like you have this amount of time?
Nah,
No. Okay. All right. So this is
just
not
thought out.
Hollywood whatsoever.
No, it's pretty much just my life, but a lot of my life is dictated by the tides. I'll tell you that. High tide, that's my time slot.
Okay.
On
Well,
the East
wind.
Coast. Yeah, wind. Oh my God, yeah. But I just surfed for like an hour and a half and just straight onshore wind. I just, sometimes
Okay.
you gotta.
Well, there's a typical surfer's question is there's some days where it's just like shit, you don't want to go out. Do you make yourself go out?
I
Or it
used to.
depends.
I
Okay.
used to. Now since I had two injuries back to back in small waves,
Mm-hmm.
and I have learned that if I get that feeling or if I feel like I'm forcing it, I shouldn't do it.
Mm.
I think that's the message that the universe was trying to send me.
Okay.
Um, but like if I just go with the flow, dude. If I'm feeling it, even if it's crappy, I'll go. And if
Okay.
I'm not feeling it and it's kind of good, I won't. I'll actually if the waves are kind of decent and I'm not really feeling it, I'll just film my
Oh,
butt.
there you go.
Yeah.
Do you have a like favorite person to film, or who are you filming? Your buddies?
Well, sometimes I get my filmers to go out, like I'll trade with them.
Yep. You see
Um,
that? Yeah.
or there's my buddy Palm Beach Perry is always I always get clips of him too. But
Yeah.
Mackie, dude, he's the guy.
Okay. Actually, and so you're also, I think, a talented musician.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. You know what song I had Slippery Surf on my show years ago.
Nice, dude.
Years ago.
That guy's a riot.
Okay, so how did you guys build a relationship?
Um, so he reached out to me because he was coming to Texas, and he reached out to me. I had seen him on Stab though before. He had like a music video, The Surfers with Attitude.
Yeah.
I think everyone saw that.
Yeah.
So, but he reached out to me just because he was going to be at Waco,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Yo, I'd love to come surf with you or whatever." And I was like, "Dude, come stay, like whatever." And he ended up coming and staying for like 10 days or 2 weeks or whatever it was, and
Yeah.
we just clicked and we made a couple fun little songs. And then he always makes me rap, dude, which like I'm fine with rapping because I can
Yeah.
do it, but like you know what I mean. I might be a little old to be rapping, but I do like making music though. It's good fun.
Yeah, your music's good. So that
Thanks,
song
dude.
with you and him too. I dug that. I dig that song.
Uh,
Hold on, I wrote it down.
I just want to surf that one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. We got to record that for real. I think that song could do all right.
That song, I think it would do very well, actually.
Yeah,
To be
yeah.
honest with you,
I
several
think
of your songs
Yeah, I
would do
think people
pretty.
would be stoked on that.
Yeah, 'cause so he has his own vibe kind of thing going, kind of like you, but not like you too.
Yeah,
Kind
yeah,
of, and I dig. I know he's kind of an outsider too, but that guy, some of his music's pretty damn good.
yeah. It is, and he's a super nice guy. He's a cool dude.
Yeah,
I
totally. Right on. In friendships and surfing, have you made enemies in surfing?
No,
No?
Mm-mm.
Perfect. Okay.
I don't really like. I've had a couple people try to like poke at me.
Well, that's because you're famous, though, right?
Um, yeah, I
I think
guess.
everyone gets that, no matter what.
But yeah, I mean, dude, I really just live my life, and I just like I I have a really good mindset for like what is dumb to waste your time on and what is
Yeah,
good to waste your time on.
I like that.
So like that stuff just doesn't bother me. But nah, I mean, I don't really get involved. I've never pretty much had any issues with anybody. 'Cause
Yeah,
I don't really get like agitated by people or whatever. Like I'm pretty understanding too about if people have some type of issue. Like
yeah. Well, some people just are looking for trouble just to be
yeah.
like on YouTube comments. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's
You just got to blow them off,
yeah,
right?
like well,
In my opinion.
I mean, my thing is like the amount of YouTube videos I watched in my life and the amount of comments I've probably commented. The only time I ever comment is like if it's a new channel
Uh-huh.
that would be stoked if I commented.
Oh, that's cool.
Or if it's one of the boys like Jamie or something. But
Yeah,
like, dude,
yeah.
imagine leaving like a critical comment about someone after watching them online. That's an interesting case study right there. I'll tell
Yeah,
you.
but it's so American, I think, or even I don't know. I don't get it personally.
Yeah, the
Eh,
internet, dude.
the internet. So okay, well, do you think the internet and so let's just group it all together? Social media, YouTube, is that been positive for our society
No,
or negative?
I think it's been negative
Okay, all right.
because I think, well, I think, and I'm probably part of the problem, but I also try to explain in my videos like what it's all about. Like it's all about being in the moment in front of you. And that's happiness. Like that's how you do it. Like you got to just be here. If you're thinking about everything that you see online, it's going to
Mm,
create depression.
mm-hmm.
It's going to be like, "Oh, why aren't I there? Look how good the ways are there." Or look how good this person's life is or whatever. So I always try to tell like I know kids watch my videos and I always try to just be like, "Hey, it's all about this moment that you're in right here. Like you got to be here or you're going to chip away your happiness." And I think it's just an important thing to just look at your feet and just be like, "Yo, I'm on the ground right here. This is me."
Do you know who your audience is?
Um yeah, for
Yeah.
the most part I think.
Okay. Okay. Do you think there's a? Do you think it's kids? Who do you think the audience is? Is it
I
all surfers?
It's not all surfers.
Mm-hmm.
Not I actually get a lot of comments that people always say like I don't even surf. I just watch your videos for the vibes. But I think it is a lot of kids, but it's also a lot of men who are just like I think they watch it to either get a little bit of a laugh or get a little bit of stoke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
Okay.
just I think it's a lot of guys who just are like maybe they don't get to surf every day, so they just grab a little bit of stoke from watching a guy be positive about crappy waves,
So
something
that
like
is good. That's a good thing of YouTube then, for
yeah.
sure.
Well, I always try to. I mean, dude, the easiest thing in life is to complain. Like
Mm-hmm.
anyone can complain at any time. Like I could come up with something to complain about right now. Like we all could.
Yeah,
But
true.
like, it would be so weird for me to just go online and be like making negativity. It just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't.
It's weird because some of the like political shows and stuff, whatever, YouTube or
Yeah,
radio, they all seem to be they complain and they're the biggest people out there. You're like, I trip out on that
I
personally.
know. There's like compulsive. I mean, dude, I get sucked into YouTube videos too. Like,
Yeah.
I'll get sucked into YouTube like comedian drama that like I don't even care about, but I'm like,
I didn't know such a thing. Okay.
you know what I mean? I don't know why I'm watching this, but like it's so interesting. And then I'm like, dude, what? And then I'm like, what am I doing, dude? But I think there's something to like relating with people. Like
Mm-hmm.
everyone's kind of fucked up at the end of the day. You know what
Yeah,
I
well,
mean? Like,
100%. We all are.
yeah. So it's like,
Mhm.
so I don't know.
Okay. What about, do you think it's mostly males that are watching you? Or do
I
you think
think
that,
so. I think
yeah,
so. Yeah.
probably. You're probably right. I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
All right. Um, okay, let me ask you this. And I hate to put you on the spot. In my opinion, you're like the original YouTube guy. There's been several shows that have come behind you that have kind of followed your lead.
Mhm.
Are you fine with that? Is that cool? Or did you ever feel threatened?
No,
No.
I think there's room for everyone to do what they want to do. Um, I just think like true success isn't necessarily it's not YouTube numbers and it's not financial.
Mm-hmm.
I think true success is how you feel about your life.
Okay.
And I think that the one downfall of YouTube and a lot of people seeing what I've done become successful is that a lot of people will just do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather because I don't agree with people getting on as a means to an end. Like I don't want to see people creating content because they think they're going to get famous or they think they're going to make money. I want to see people creating content because it's what's coming out of their heart.
Yeah,
And
I like that.
sadly, that's not always going to be the case, but it it is what it is. Like everyone has the right to go out and do whatever they want with their time. So,
With that being said, I think we could see through them if they are faking it.
yeah,
Personally.
it's kind of like what we talked about earlier. Like I
Yeah.
think you can see genuine
Yeah.
stoke through a video.
Yeah. 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 How many other ways? How many more ways is it possible to surf? Ways and waves. So one with a Y and one with a V.
Yeah,
E.
it's kind of been interesting, right? Like novelty surfing
Yeah.
has gone from completely obscure to
Yes.
completely mainstream within 5 years. So
Yes.
so it is, but I think it's important to not be like, oh, I gotta find the next best thing. Like I think it's important for me to just keep on my path, and novelty ways are a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely harder to find them now, and it's just part of it. But I think there's still going to be some stuff that will blow our mind, like in the coming future. But we have seen a lot, and I don't think it's a good way to look at it if you think like, oh, everything's been done. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Because maybe before I started doing what I was doing, everyone thought that everything had been done. And then who would have thought that I could have pulled this out of, like, I just found that lane,
You
but
did.
maybe there's other lanes. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Who knows? So I think potential and possibilities are endless in everything in life. But it's just a matter of like people thinking outside the box. That's why it hurts if people are just doing things that they think are going to be successful because they've seen other people doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see people thinking outside the box and going for it.
Wave pools. In my opinion, I think because of your novelty ways and the different ways you're surfing, that you've helped, not directly but indirectly, helped build inland surf pools and making them such a big part of surfing nowadays. Did you ever think about that?
No, not really.
No? I feel
Um,
like with Waco and some of these, I mean, of course, the movie North Shore starts off with,
yeah,
surfing
yeah,
a wave pool and then you go on and surfing, but it's becoming more accessible with wave pools every day. The
yeah,
middle America can surf, or
yeah,
middle Switzerland, or wherever they're having the wave pools
yeah.
built.
That's pretty cool. But I have made the joke before that I was like, in 10 years from now, people are gonna be like, "What do you mean this guy surfed every state? So did I." You know,
Yeah, it's heading that
I just
direction.
went to every wave pool. It was pretty easy.
Yeah, yeah,
It's gonna be funny, dude. But how cool is that? Now when I drive to California, I can stop 20 times at 20 different wave pools on my way out. That's
right.
rad.
What's your thoughts on wave pools?
Um, I for the most part, like I think they're kind of a waste of time for
Really
for the pe-
interesting.
for the people who are like building them and getting all stoked on them. But I think those people just have so much money. Um, so on that side of things, but on the side of like learning, they're great for
Mm-hmm.
learning. And on the side of like, I always make this argument. Like if you go to Kelly Slater's wave pool, you can rent it out for 50 grand for the day. It's a
Crazy,
lot. It's a lot of money, right?
a lot
But
of
if
money.
you get 10 guys together
Mm-hmm.
and you rent it out for 50 grand, so 5,000 a piece, and then you're like, okay, I'm guaranteed. How many ways do you get? I'm not even
I
sure.
don't know. I've never surfed
Maybe
it, so
10. So maybe you get 10 ways. But here's the thing. A lot of people might spend close to 5 grand to go on a week-long surf trip,
mm-hmm.
and they might not get barreled.
Right.
So you're
Yeah,
definitely getting barreled at
that's a good point.
Slater's wave pool. But like, I don't know. I love surfing in the natural world. Um and maybe if I had like just tens of millions of dollars, I'd build one too, but I'm not super like frothed on like seeing like the next wave pool drop. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm it's kind of interesting, but I mean there was a point in my life when I thought it was it.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm also lucky that I've gotten to surf a few of them, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like, I don't want to say I'm cynical about it, but I'm kind of like, all right, that's cool, but chasing a swell and finding ways in the real world is like really something. It's like spiritual. you know.
Okay. Do you still like chasing swell?
Yeah, I love it.
Do
I
you?
love it. Yeah.
Are you looking like around the world, like what's going to be happening? Or are you looking like more like what's going to happen down the street,
I look around
or
the whole
both?
world.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of,
What What's the best wave in the world you've surfed?
man, dude, I still think like maybe I haven't really surfed a good wave. I have so many friends who surf good waves, and I'm just like, wow, I don't know. I don't think, but I did a 10-day trip to Hossegor, France, and we got tubes every morning at La Gravière, just for
Yeah.
shore break.
Hmm.
And I think that was like the best waves I've ever surfed, just consistently. Like it was overhead tubes every day. So
And super fun? Or was
really,
it
really
gnarly?
fun. There was a couple days that were scary, but it was really, really fun and just super hollow and perfect. But I think the best waves I've caught, which is kind of crazy, but is at home in New Jersey, just big winter storms. The,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so let's talk about that. 20 years ago, if anybody, almost anybody in the world would have said, you would have said New Jersey, I served New Jersey, they would have never, what?
I still
But
get that.
now, over the last 5, 10 years, it's been that in New York, kind of that East Coast region has really caught the eye of the people.
Yeah, well, it's also like surf forecasting has gotten so advanced, and I think us as surfers have gotten so keen to what's going on that so like in the 90s, if there was a big nor'easter,
Hmm.
even if it cleaned up the later in the day,
Yeah.
like the old heads would wait till the next morning to get it like really clean.
Hmm.
Now we I think we're like paddling out because the surf line will be like literally the wind is going to switch in 10 minutes. So we'll paddle out before the wind goes offshore, or
Yeah.
we'll be
It
standing
flips.
there waiting, watching it go offshore. So we get out there with the most potential to get the biggest tube. Whereas I think it was just more relaxed back in the day where they would just wait till the next day and they would get clean, fun surf all day. But also are the waves getting bigger in New Jersey? It seems like they are.
Are they?
Every winter they're bigger.
Okay.
So I don't
There you go.
I don't really know what's going on.
Have you ever been stuck out in a heavy situation out there in Jersey
Um
where you realize, oh shit, it's bigger than I thought, or it's colder, or whatever it was?
um yeah, I've been in a lot of situations where I realized it was bigger than I thought. But there's there's something about your home break, right?
Uh
Like
huh.
I've surfed waves in Jersey that are gnarlier than some of the days I've surfed at Backdoor. But at Backdoor, I'm way more intimidated at half the size because I don't know the bottom. I don't know the lineup. I'm not friends with everybody out there. Like I know some people in the
Hmm.
crowd. It's just different. So like in Jersey, I'm super comfortable. Like,
Hmm.
so I want the biggest, baddest wave I can find in New Jersey. That is not the case at Backdoor. I want the safest looking, cleanest little right that I could get barreled and definitely come out of.
Yeah.
So I think if you're comfortable with a lineup, it helps a lot.
And let me ask you this: you have your own line of surfboards. You have your own, you have your own merch and everything. But what was the last custom surfboard you ordered, and how long ago was that?
Before before I had
Your line?
the Ben Gravy fiberglass boards.
Yeah.
So I've been with Brian Brown,
Okay.
the guy that shapes my boards, since 2015.
Wow. Okay.
So I would order Super brand boards from him. He
Yeah.
he shaped it Super, and then he left Super and he started his label, which is Algorithm Surfboards. So
Yep.
I ordered a 3-pack of Algorithm Surfboards, and then we started my label. So I've been with Brian for 10 years, pretty much. So I haven't. I mean, I experiment with other boards that I come
Yeah.
across, but I haven't ordered any other boards from anyone.
What is the surf scene in Jersey?
It's growing.
Okay.
It's a lot of people who are definitely stoked to see what's going on. And winter surfing is getting more popular too. So it's interesting, but it's cool. It's
What's
it's
your technology is better than ever? So you guys
Wetsuit
can.
technology's great. We wear 5 mils, boots, gloves, hood, and surf on the coldest day of the year.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably.
Well, okay, that part's fascinating. Is it ever still too cold? Can
Nah.
it get too cold? No. Jeez. All
I
right.
surfed
I'll take your word for that.
Jersey. I mean, this is going to sound insane, but Jersey's relatively warm. Um, our water usually stays around 40,
That's so cold. Yeah.
35.
Yeah.
And it gets down, like, sometimes it's 10 degrees. But,
Hmm.
dude, I surfed in Minnesota
Oh yeah.
on Lake Superior,
Yeah.
and the water was 28, and with the wind chill, it was negative 6 degrees out. So
That's borderline dangerous. I mean, that not borderline. It's dangerous at that point.
that might have been a little too cold, but it was pumping.
What about like chunks of ice or anything?
There
You ever get
wasn't
hit?
there wasn't any ice in the water. No, but that's pretty dangerous, dude. That would be
Right.
sketchy.
Yeah,
'Cause,
totally.
like, you can't really see it underwater.
Right. Yeah. You try to duck dive and you get hit, like, it'll knock you out.
Yeah.
All right. Is surfing getting too crowded? What are your thoughts on the crowd factor?
Nah.
You just kind of mentioned it.
Nah, I don't think so. I think people get aggro for no reason because there's a lot of opportunity to surf other places. Me personally, unless I'm just screwing around on a longboard or a softie, I won't surf in a crowd. So I never have issues with crowds. I will just be like, I'll just use a little bit of my brain and be like, okay, there's 40 guys out here, but a half a mile up the beach, there's no one out, and the waves look pretty similar. I'm just going to go over there. Because there's a weird thing in surfing when it's always just me, 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 me. And it's like, well, everyone else is equally allowed to be out here. So I don't know what the problem is, but I don't really deal with crowds. I just surf waves that no one wants to surf, or I just surf where no one's out.
Which made you famous.
Sure.
Oh.
I don't know why people get so caught up in it. I mean, if there's like 40 beginners out, why would you ever surf that spot? You know?
Okay. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on that. I don't know if I agree with you, but that's fine. It's your interview.
Well, where's your local spot?
Well, Oceanside, it seems like,
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
California and the East Coast are different.
completely, yeah.
No,
No,
there's a
but
lot
I mean,
going on in California.
yeah.
But if I was you, I would just buy a jet ski and I would go.
No, I surf the worst places ever, and I surf in the afternoon.
I would
Just
buy
stay
a
away
jet
from
ski
people.
and just go zip around out Oceanside Harbor and see what's going on down the beach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fire, and there's no one there.
Yeah.
On base.
So there's potential, dude.
Oh, I guess there's always a way, right?
Yeah.
But do you think that etiquette is the same as when you started surfing? How were you taught?
No, I think. Well, it's more mainstream, right? Especially
Yeah, it is way more mainstream.
with. I mean,
With the Olympics in there
well,
going
it's
on
in
right
the
now,
Olympics. There you go.
that's
But
mainstream
also,
as you can get.
like, COVID was crazy for surfing.
Yeah,
And so the adult learners, like, they just aren't going to have that etiquette because they don't have the same respect for the pecking order that we grew up respecting. Like,
100%.
the guys that were older than us would yell at us, and the
Yeah.
guys that were older than them would yell at them. And it kind of just is what it is. I never passed that down, to be honest with you. I always just like nicely, calmly explained to the Groms like how it worked if they needed to learn about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know because there is a new group of people surfing who don't understand a lot of the culture. So if you try to tell them something, maybe they wouldn't even listen to you. So
That's usually the case. I have found.
it's gonna be interesting to see, but I mean, it's kind of, maybe it's annoying, but it's also kind of gonna be pretty interesting to watch.
Has well, you've already mentioned it. The culture has changed. Is it going to keep changing, and in what direction? Do you think it's ever going to go backwards?
No,
Where there is respect for the local guy that's been sitting there for 40 years on the same peak?
I mean, I'll always respect that guy,
Of course you will.
but I think it's gonna keep going the way that it's going because there's more of them than there are of us. So you
That's
know,
so true.
it's just so uh people who understand and have a respect for it are going to be the minority in the situation, and then
It
it's
already is that way.
you
Yeah.
know so no, I think it's pretty much over, but like we talked about, like there's always a way. There's a way around it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just go down the beach.
So,
You're right. Go down the beach. So,
or
all
just like
right.
ollie over
In order to keep your life going, so how did you come up with the idea? Going back, we'll go way backwards again, to start selling your own merch and stuff like that. Was that an easy process, or was that a
them. No,
challenge?
it was a challenge.
Okay.
Because when I was doing this in the beginning, I had very, very little money.
Mm-hmm.
But so this company, it's called Matuna's Candles. They're from Northern California actually. They approached me. They saw my video about the Great Lakes and they said, "Hey, would you ever want to do a custom candle?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" They were like a Ben Gravy candle. And I was like, "What?" Okay. That sounds pretty cool. So then I actually came up with the idea to do a pineapple surf wax candle. And I asked my wife at the time, well, she was my girlfriend at the time, but
Yeah.
um because she's good at like drawing with lead pencil. I asked her to help me draw the logo, and she drew the punk rock pineapple. And
Yeah.
I was like, all right, this is cool. So it ended up it's grown and changed a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty much what it was, the logo. But then we made that candle, and I made 100 of the candles, and that was a big investment for me because I think they cost me like $7 a pop
Yeah.
to
That's a
make,
lot.
and then I was selling them for 10. Um, but then when I made the candles, my viewers were really stoked on them, and they were like really high quality organic candles. And then they were like, "Hey, you should put this on a T-shirt. You should put this on a sweatshirt." So then I started slow. Like I made 50 T-shirts, and then I made 100 T-shirts. Then I made 40 sweatshirts, and then um, so then I eventually got to the point where I licensed my logo to Cat Surf, and then we made the boards, and then they made a bunch of clothes, and then that turned into a Sector 9 license, and then a Hyperflex wetsuit license, and then it just has just become like
Just blossomed.
utter madness. But yeah, it's just like it's been an amazing process. But I've been doing this. We created that logo in 2017, so it's been this whole time um,
Wow.
to get to where it is now, where it's kind of like it's like a recognizable brand.
So, are
And
you a businessman now with this? Did this make you a
um,
businessman?
I'm better at it than I was.
Okay.
Like you learn every time that you do something.
Of course.
But I think the thing that I've learned about myself is that I license my logo out so that they can do that.
Yeah. Got that. Okay.
And
Understood.
like if it's a product that I like soft tops or a wetsuit,
Yeah.
they can deal with that, and I'll just use the product and enjoy it and enjoy my life because I'm not a sales guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of I think I'm good at doing what I'm doing, so I don't. I mean, it's weird because you learn as you go, but I never look at anything and say like I'm only doing this because it's gonna have a financial gain.
Okay. Cool.
Everything that I still do is for the love.
For love.
Like I don't
Yeah.
know if you saw this,
Yeah.
but this is not a profitable venture.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the stoke. But
Yeah.
maybe one day it will become one, but this is just like to grow the levels of stoke outside of my surfing circle, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. You have to
Okay.
make money too. So
You have to live,
yeah, you have
and
to.
you're giving the content people. Some way or another, it's either going to be a commercial or something. You have to make money
Yeah.
at a
And
certain point,
yeah, and
and
I
you're
do.
giving value.
And I like to give as much value as I can, but then, every now and then I will promote, like, I do the collaborations with DJI sometimes, the camera
Yep.
company. But it's like I also use the camera, and I do love the camera. But like, and it's not the best thing ever to be doing a sales pitch in your videos. But at the same time, it's like, if I want to continue doing this, I have to do that. If I could give 5 to 10 videos without a sales pitch, and then I got to put a sales pitch in one, like, it's just how it has to be. But
Right. I agree.
and I don't love that, but
No.
it's part of it.
But your audience will let you know if you've gone too far.
Yeah,
I think.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if people are watching it, then there's a reason why they're watching it. It's for entertainment, or there's some value there. So do you consider yourself famous? Is that a hard question?
No, I don't. But look, if you're famous, there's always someone more famous than you. If you're rich, there's always someone more rich than you. If you're but I don't think about that kind of stuff. I think about, like, I don't know, like, we went to an event yesterday. It was a 50th anniversary for a surf shop, and they had a big event, big party. And like, we rolled up, and I got a line at my booth, and I just started signing stuff, and it's all good. And I just signed stuff for like 2 hours, and people were stoked, and we were taking pictures and everything. But like, in my eyes, I'm not sitting there thinking, oh, this is awesome. This looks so good. Like, I'm big time. I'm thinking, damn, these guys came here for real because they watched a few of my videos and they liked the energy that I was putting out. And they actually took their time out of their day to come say hi to me.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
It's like, what an honor,
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like, who am I, And I get it that, like, people have anxiety, or they don't want to go out of their shell, or maybe people won't go to the lengths that I've gone to chase down their dreams, and that resonates with people, and they root for me because I guess I'm willing to go to that next step and push it. But it's definitely not something that I've been able to understand or wrap my head around, but I kind of just roll with it. You gotta just live. And like, something that happens that's pretty funny is people will come up and be like, yo, man, what's up? Like, and I'll talk to them for a couple of minutes, and my wife goes, who's that? I'm like, I don't know. He knew me, but I just picked up on his energy, because if he knows my energy, then I already understand this person, and we're good. Like, we can just have a conversation.
That's cool. That's cool.
So it's good. And you know what? That's the positive thing about social media.
Where's the weirdest place someone's recognized you?
Okay. There's been a lot, but
okay.
I was with my brother, and we were in, it wasn't Missouri. I think it was Oklahoma. It was Oklahoma, and I was vlogging every day when I was doing the 50 states. And we went into a McDonald's, and there was a guy in line watching my vlog in the line at McDonald's that we chose in front of us. And my brother didn't say anything, because I'm an airhead. I'm just like, whatever. Just like, I'm trying to get by the way, I love McDonald's coffee.
Okay, there you go.
Hot take. But so my brother ran out to the car without saying anything, came in with his camera, and came up to this guy and said, yo, what's the claim? And the guy like looked up, and he's like, no way, it's you guys. And it was cool. Wild, because we uploaded that video that morning, and he was in line at the same McDonald's watching it, and that's rad. It was wild in the middle of Oklahoma.
That's so rad.
It was cool.
All right, well, Ben Gravy, thank you for coming on the Quivercast. I feel like we can talk for another couple hours, but yeah, thanks for all you do. Like, you really do put a smile on my face when I'm watching your videos.
I'm happy to hear it, dude.
Even if I didn't know that, which I didn't. That's super rad. So, well, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. I'm honored to be here, and I just thought I should tell you, dude, you're good at this. Your questions are great.
Oh, cool.
They made me like go in, like,
all right, good.
The stories and talking and stuff. It was good. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, everybody. This is Mike and Ben Gravy, and we are out of here. Later.